Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me. Wherever you're joining me, rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, yeah, you know what to do. You see the numbers. We're getting close. I wanted to start today in because I feel like I end up talking a lot about the way in which quarterbacks are evaluated in the NFL and college. And it seems as if we want to anoint certain quarterbacks over others. And I realize that this just happens because we want to be right. And that's okay. I tell the story all the time that Dak Prescott was not a quarterback that I thought highly of coming out of Michigan State. I respected what he did at Michigan State. I thought that he was a good football player. I thought that he should be in the NFL, but I did not believe that he was an elite level quarterback. And anytime we talked evaluation, I would say it. I would say, hey, this dude is, he's going to be all right. I wouldn't waste a high draft pick on him, but, he'll be all right. He'll be okay. Man, I was wrong, and I had to eat it. And I said it publicly. You know why I said it publicly? Because when you make mistakes, you need to make the mistake the same way that you made the declaration. If you make a declaration publicly, then your apology should be just as public. I hate the fact that when people are accused of crimes, it's front page news. Yet when they're exonerated, it barely gets any type of pub. Hey, we're going to accuse you of doing something that's despicable. When you are found not guilty of that despicable act, we're going to say something in the system is broken when it comes to that. Now, don't get me wrong. If you killed somebody, you killed somebody. So don't try to use that analogy, because if you shoot somebody, you should go to jail. If you shoot somebody and it was clearly not in self-defense, you should go to jail. But if you're being accused of something that you know for a fact you didn't do, and you get off, you should have the same amount of fanfare, the same amount of eyeballs and volume on that as you do when you're accused. But that doesn't happen in this country. We sweep it under the rug. Why? Because we hate to be wrong. We don't want to be wrong. We fear being wrong. And we fear being wrong because we know that if we're wrong, there's a chance someone may not believe us going into the future. Maybe that affects our ability to make money. Maybe that affects our emotional state. I don't really know what it is that makes us do it, but we do it. And for me, the issues that I have is that when we talk about these quarterbacks, all it takes for people to get anointed, for certain people to get anointed, is to have one decent game. Not one fantastic game, not one great game, one decent game, and then they're the next thing coming. Contrary, there'll be other guys who put down large bodies of work, like Dak Prescott, and you'll still have people questioning whether or not they are elite. And I don't get it. Like, literally, Jameis Winston had a great first game. They went, oh, Sean Payton fixed him. Then he came out, second game, not so good. Oh, is it time to move on for Jameis Winston? And then you look at his stats, you look at the game he played, you go back and watch the film. He didn't play worse than Josh Allen did in a couple of them first games of the year when he was looking shaky. or Justin Herbert when he was looking shaky in a couple of those games early. So then Winston comes back and has another good game. No turnovers, couple touchdowns, efficient, not blowing up the stat books. Nobody says anything. Crickets. Teddy Bridgewater putting together one of the best starts to a season a quarterback has had in God knows how long. Crickets. Why? Because those aren't your guys. Those aren't the ones that you want to be great. You want Mac Jones to be great. And so because you want Mac Jones to be great, anytime Mac Jones does anything good, it is magnified. But Mac Jones has done more bad than good. But you have to boost up Mac Jones because you didn't want Cam Newton. So if you don't boost up Mac Jones, it's an admittance that New England should have, in fact, kept Cam Newton, which they should, and they would have a better record right now. You want Trevor Lawrence to be good. And so because you want Trevor Lawrence to be good, you've blamed everything on everybody else this year but Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. Until Jacksonville has a decent game. Not a good game, a decent game. And then all of a sudden now you want to act as if Trevor Lawrence has arrived. This tweet came out literally while the game was going on. This is from Albert Breer. If you don't know who Albert Breer is, he's an NFL reporter. He's on the Monday morning quarterback, NBC on Boston, NFL Network. You know, he's done it all. It's Albert Breer. 500,000 followers on Twitter, by the way. 500,000. Albert Breer puts out a list. This is at 11:04 p.m. 26 and younger. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence. And that's all he puts because, of course, he's trolling. He's trying to get more people there. But how do you put a list together of young quarterbacks and not include Lamar Jackson? I don't care what you think of him, what you thought of him coming out of college, what you believe his ceiling is. To this point in time, that man has been better at quarterback than everybody on that list sans Patrick Mahomes. He's accomplished more than everybody on that list sans Patrick Mahomes. It should be 26 and younger, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. But to not even have him listed on there, Albert Breer, means that when you make a list or when you start talking quarterback, I can't take you seriously. I can't take you serious because you clearly have a blind spot, and I don't know why. Because if we're being honest, like legitimately honest, how can you have Joe Burrow on this list? If we're being legitimately honest, how can you have Joe Burrow on this list? Not even going to the fact that you have Trevor Lawrence on the list, which is ridiculous, especially because he's played like trash this entire year. And he wasn't like great yesterday. He just had a chance to do a little running, which made him look a little bit better. But you've got 26 and younger, and you don't have Lamar Jackson on that list. That's a flaw. That's a list that's invalid. Heck, you've got 26 and younger. You didn't even put Baker Mayfield on the list, and he's 26. That's a flawed list. Baker Mayfield has done more than Justin Herbert has. Like, people are not acting as if Justin Herbert didn't walk into a situation where he had a couple of elite receivers, a few backs who are good, an offensive line that they've invested money in, and a defense that has legitimate, like, high-profile guys at almost every level. That is what Justin Herbert walked into. That is not what most quarterbacks walk into. But when they do, if they have success, cool. Baker Mayfield walked into a landmine where he had to take over in a situation where it felt like they were still trying to lose. And everybody knows that I'm no Baker Mayfield fan, but I can be honest that he's better than Trevor Lawrence right now. I can be honest and say he's put together a better body of work than Justin Herbert has. The question is, why can't you? Why can't you admit that Lamar Jackson is way, light years better than what you thought he was going to be in the NFL? I can admit that Baker Mayfield is better than I thought he was going to be. I can admit that. He's better than what I thought he was going to be. See how easy that is? If I'm making a list of 20 quarterbacks, 26 and younger, I can't leave Baker Mayfield off of that. Now, if you ask me a list of quarterbacks that I just like to watch, 26 and under, I'm not putting Baker Mayfield on there. I don't like to watch him play football. I'm sorry, I don't see the appeal. But good at their job, effective, 26 and under, absolutely. You know who I'm not putting on there? Trevor Lawrence. Because based off what we've seen in the NFL, I cannot project, oh my gosh, he's going to be great. I had my questions in college. My number one pick would have been Justin Fields. I've been on record as saying it. Now, Justin Fields has not looked good. And nobody's out there caping for Justin Fields. We just say, hey, look, Justin Fields hasn't looked good. Now, his situation is not the greatest, but he hasn't looked good. The same way that I'll say that Trevor Lawrence hasn't looked good, his situation is tailor-made for him. College coach, weapons everywhere, an offensive line that had a 1,200-yard rusher, I believe, last year. So he has what he needs in order to be successful. He hasn't been successful. Y'all can miss me with the whole Urban Meyer's in over his head stuff, man. Stop it. Urban Meyer's a great coach, but we're willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because we want to be right. I want Justin Fields to be good because I want him to be good, but I also want to be right. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be right. But there is something wrong. There is something wrong when you're not right and you won't admit it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do these things a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. Happy Friday, and 5-star ratings are always good. We'll see you on Monday. Peace.